If you're a niche company in a sector like engineering, tech, or consultancy, and you're looking to showcase your expertise and build trust with potential customers, you've probably already thought about creating case studies. But if you're not sure how to start or what to include to make it a useful marketing tool, and what to do if you're bound by non-disclosure agreements or other restrictions, then this video is for you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to create compelling case studies that highlight your work, what to ask your customers to make sure the case study is really effective as a marketing tool, and what to do if you're bound by non-disclosure agreements or if you need to anonymise sensitive information. So let's dive in. First of all, case studies are one of the most powerful tools in marketing for niche companies in sectors like engineering, tech, or consulting. They showcase your problem-solving abilities, your technical expertise, and they show successful project outcomes, which is what your customers want to see. Unlike other marketing content, a case study gives your potential customers tangible proof of your capabilities. It turns your services into stories that demonstrate real-world results. And it helps your prospects to imagine themselves as a customer of yours, getting those same results. But to make your case studies really effective, you need to ask the right questions to your customer about the project that you're case studying and present the information in a way that resonates with your audience. When you're crafting a case study, it's absolutely essential to include key information that will tell a compelling story. So here are some important questions to ask your customer and the internal team, if they're, depending on who was involved in the project, when you're developing a case study. First of all, what problem or challenge did your customer face when they're working with, before they were working with you? So what was the situation before they were working with you? Why did they choose you for this project? What were the key objectives for the project? What did they want to get out of it? 4, what specific solutions did you provide? What were the measurable results or outcomes? Ask them for specifics about stuff like cost savings, improved efficiency, faster growth, time saved, whatever it was that they wanted to get out of it. Ask for specifics on what the specific results were. Were there any unexpected challenges in the project? How did you overcome them? And lastly, how did the customer feel about the process and the final outcome? Was it a relief that it went well? Did it take away a stress? Did it make them feel proud of their company or feel proud of their role? Or, did it make them look good to their boss? How did they identify the feelings around the outcome? Because this will make your story so much richer and more compelling and authentic for your reader. So these questions help you uncover the story behind your work and the real value that you provide. And by focusing on the customer's challenges and your approach and the measurable outcomes, you'll create a case study that's both informative and persuasive. I'm going to sound like your old English teacher now, but structure your case study with a beginning, middle, and an end. I know we've all had it. So start by describing the situation before the customer came to you. Paint the picture of the doom and gloom before you came along. If you can use a customer quote here, even better, because they'll be describing the situation in their own words. Then describe the engagement itself. What did you do? What challenges came up? How did you resolve them? How did the project go? And again, if you can quote your customer describing what it was like to work with you, that's perfect. And then finish the case study by explaining the outcome and the results. What did all this mean for your customer? And include all those specifics that you asked about. Now I want to talk about a challenge that a lot of engineering niche consultancy tech companies face, which is anonymizing case studies. So you might have a lot of projects that involve sensitive information or proprietary technologies. Maybe you're bound by an NDA. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't create a case study. There are still ways to tell a compelling story while keeping confidentiality intact. So here are my tips. First, change the customer's name and describe the company in general terms to give context, but not enough that it would be identifiable. So, for example, a tier 1 aerospace company or a large company in the oil and gas sector. Or, second, generalize any specific locations, change any product names. And third, focus on the challenge, your approach and your process and the results without giving away any proprietary information. So the key here is to keep the story high level while still showcasing your expertise. So for instance, you might say a leading manufacturer in the automotive sector approached us with a complex problem relating to thermal efficiency. Then you can go on to describe in general terms the work that you did and how you solved that problem. And you're still demonstrating the impact of your work, but sensitive details are protected. Now, what do you do if all of your customer work is tied up in non-disclosure agreements? This is quite common in niche engineering, tech, consultancy fields, especially if you're working with government contracts or industries with strict confidentiality requirements. But there are a few approaches that you can take. Could you create a hypothetical case study? If you can't discuss real projects, create a hypothetical case study based on similar challenges that you solved in the past. It's really important to make it clear in the case study that it's an example rather than a specific customer story. But just be honest about your reasons for writing the hypothetical case study, and your prospects will understand because they're probably in a similar situation and they'll respect the fact that you're keeping your customers' information confidential. A second thing that you might want to consider is, can you get permission to use non-sensitive aspects? Reach out to your customers and ask if they're comfortable with you sharing specific aspects of the project, especially if you can keep it anonymous. A lot of customers are fine with their suppliers sharing, the problem and the solution, as long as the results or the proprietary details remain confidential. This works especially well if it's a problem that a lot of companies have, because people read the case study and think, well, this could be anyone. Also talk to your customers about any timescales. It could be that, for the next 3 years, they can't talk about this project, but after that period, it might be that a patent elapses or a project becomes less sensitive, and so then they might be more willing to talk about it. So do think about historical projects that you've worked on. And third, can you showcase generic processes and technologies? So rather than focusing on customer-specific projects, can you showcase your engineering processes, your innovative technologies in your case studies? So for example, you could walk through how you typically approach solving a specific type of engineering problem without naming a customer. Or you could make it more generic and say, for customers in this sector, for several customers in this sector, this is how we approach those problems. And these are some examples of things that we've done. So talking about several projects in one go rather than one project specifically. NDAs can be really tricky, but these strategies might allow you to still highlight your expertise and build credibility with potential customers within the limitations of a confidentiality agreement. Case studies are a vital part of marketing for niche SMEs because they provide tangible proof of your value. So remember to ask the right questions, anonymise sensitive information when needed, and if all of your work's covered by an NDA, think about hypothetical or process-focused case studies instead. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll get an alert when we post our next one. And if you, let me know in the comments about what you find hardest about creating case studies, and I'll pop back and give you some more tips.